All right, so first and foremost, I want to start off by saying Barak Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. And I want to give all honor and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the whole free last start with the 144,000 on the one. All right, so Lord willing, right? And watching the lesson today, Lord willing, seeing, what the Spirit's gonna lead me into a lesson. I wanted to go into a lesson, which it was gonna be titled, they don't want the light because they come from the dark. Jake scared of that rebuking, man. Jake don't want to, Jake comfortable with being in his own way. Jake, Esau created these narratives, these doctrines, these different religions, these different ways to where Jake can be comfortable in his iniquity, right? That's why it says, the word is drunken out of fornication of Babylon, really paraphrasing, right? But I did a lesson on that a while ago. I ended up watching it before I did this lesson, Lord willing. Right now, I'm gonna repost it. I'm gonna repost it on both the pages, Lord willing, right? But yeah, I did a lesson. It was titled "Jake Wants Most High Fit Their Lifestyle." It's kind of going into what the Spirit was leading me within the title of they don't want the light because they come from their darkness, right? It's kind of going into that, But as I continue to watch the lesson, Lord willing, Spirit came upon me. We're gonna, and the title of the lesson is, Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, right? Yahawah being the Father, bahasham, Yahawashi, in the name, Yahawashi being the Son, right? Is our anchor, right? He the ones who us calling on the names is what holds us down. The Spirit, bahasham or Kakadash, right? In the name of the Holy Spirit, right, which gives us this knowledge and understanding, which allows us, to be fully rooted, and stable, right? Ten toes down. Because if not, we will be out here, and we're going to, the Lord willing, it might change the title of the toss to and fro, right? Because when you truly understand it, right, that's what made our nation, in the book of James, if I'm mistaken, or another it's like Jeremiah, right? That's what, the Most High was telling us, right? That's what made our nation a degenerate plant. We made ourselves degenerates, right? Being tossed to and fro here and there, right? This is Jeremiah 2. Right, and I'll start at verse 20. It says, "For of old time have broken thy yoke and burst thy bands, and thou saidest, I will not transgress." Right, because we had the names, right? And every time Jake would go off, and end up going into captivity, we would call on names of Yahawashi and Yahawashi. We call on that name, right? Because anger holds us down. The names of Yahawashi and Yahawashi is what holds us down, right? Calling those names, and Yahawashi and Yahawashi would deliver us. He would break us from the captivity, right? But he said, "I have broken thy yoke and burst thy bands, and thou saidest, I will not transgress." So every time that happened, we'd be like, "The Most High, save us. We ain't gonna go off no more." And guess what? Jacob still end up going off. Jacob still end up going back to the same way they was doing before they even before the Most High even saved them. Right? As soon as they get out of captivity, like think about Egypt. As soon as they got out of Egypt, get into the wilderness, they couldn't keep their patience when Moses went to the the mountain, the chariot, to get the laws and commands for Yahawashi and Yahawashi. As soon as he gone, they couldn't keep pace enough for them to stay down, right? As soon as he going, they the golden calf or whatnot. Aaron making the golden calf, It's like things of that such, right? And it says, "I will not transgress when upon every high hill and under every green tree thou wanderest, playing the harlot." And that's really going into the doctrines, the philosophy, the ways of other nations, right? Because even as another lesson I mentioned before, think about in First Maccabees, right? The time when the Greeks came in, Jake was like, "Yo, it's easier for us to follow their ways. It's easier for us to do what they do," right? Because why? They don't have that faith and that trust in Yahawashi and Yahawashi, right? They don't have that faith and that trust in Yahawashi and Yahawashi. Understand that He's gonna hold us down. Whether they got that faith and that trust. He's our anchor. That's why these other doctrines, religions, these other all these ways that Esau professed, these devil devices, they can't get to us, right? Because we anchor down. I was watching Elder Pastor Rumlai, right, and he was saying, we're like ships, right? And these other doctrines, the other nations, the other philosophies are these other doctrines, right? These other philosophies, things and such, those are the waters, right? These other people, those are the waters, right? And if you're not fully, it was saying, if you're not fully anchored down through the names of Yahawashi, Yahawashi, guess what? You're gonna be tossed to and fro. Who's you gonna get to, right? You're gonna be here, you're gonna be there. That's why Jake be confused. You hear a lot of Jake. Oh, I was Christian, but now I'm this, now I'm that, right? Because Esau created these, these narratives. Babylon represents confusion. The word Babylon, the word means confusion. It create these narratives and these things to confuse you, right? So Jake so lost, Jake so confused, right, that he don't know what to believe. You have some Jake says, oh, I can't believe the Bible, it was rewritten, it ain't real. So, it gets to the point, it gets that deep. Jake don't even think the Bible real. Jake, things as such, right? Because they're not anchored down to the names of Yahawashi, Yahawashi. And when you tell them there is a true power, right? There is a true higher power, right? Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, which is the only black boy. Ain't you got nothing to say, which is the only one, right? Yahawah being the Father, Yahawashi being the Son, right? Right? To continue reading on, it says, yet I had planted a noble vine, wholly your right seed, right? Was the Isaiah 5 of Isaiah chapter 5? What more can I do to my vineyard? Yahawashi gave us the laws and commandments. He gave us the name, right? He gave us everything to be anchored down, so we wouldn't be tossed to and fro, right? It said, how then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me, right? Because we turned into a degenerate plant. Why? Because Jake over here worshiping Greek life. Jake over here, the little Greek life in college. Jake over here doing, Jake over here working with Christianity. Jake Islam, right? Jake doing all these other things, right? Tossed to and fro because they're not anchored down through names of Yahawashi, Yahawashi. Because there's only one name. Let's go to that, right? Acts chapter 4 verse 12. It says, is it? Yeah. Verse 12, right, says, neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. That's the name of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 4. What is his name? What is his son's name? Right? Matter of fact, let me go to that. That's why I want to quote it wrong. Right? Proverbs 30 and verse 4. Right? And it reads, says, who hath ascended up into heaven or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fist? Right? Because that he hold us down. Right? He hold us down. Right? He names Yahawashi, Yahawashi holds us down. Right? Who hath bound the waters in the garment? Who has established all the ends of the earth? Who has done all these things? Right? Who is holding the elect down? Who's holding the elect together? Right? Who is gathering the elect together? The spirit of Yahawashi, Yahawashi. Right? Matthew 24 talks about how Matthew 24:24. And I'm actually bringing it out as well after this. Right? How Esau them they blessed with the miracles. They blessed with the deceivers. Right? They're able to deceive the whole world. Right? They're able to get off on anybody. They're able to trick anybody. But guess what they won't get? The elect. They can't trick the elect. Right? It says, who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? What is his son's name? If thou can tell. Right? What is his name? What is his son's name? And those names, Yahawashi, Yahawashi, and what holds us down. That's why only the elect has those names. That's why the names were taken from us. Right? Because the Most High wasn't dealing with Jake no more. Most High got tired of it. You go ahead. All right? Even Jake who in the truth who know the name. Right? Guess what? Even Jake who in the truth know the name. Guess what? Soon as they start going off, soon as they start losing their wits, right? Losing their self, Most High turn rope. Now they start going against that name. Oh, that ain't the name. Right? That ain't the true name, man. Things as such. Right? Because those names are only given to the elect, the sincere 144,000. And that's going to hold them down. Right? Matter of fact, in Proverbs 18:10, it says, the name of the Lord Yahawah is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. Right? The righteous run into it and is safe because can't nothing get to us. Right? The names of the spirit of Yahawashi, Yahawashi is covering us. It's protecting us. Right? We're stable. That's the stability we have in this wicked kingdom. Right? All this wickedness and darkness around us, we have the light of Yahawashi, Yahawashi upon us, holding us down as we walk through this passage. Right? With all these things going on, with all this bullshit going on around us. Right? So let me see, what is it? I had a couple precepts that the elder had brought out I want to go into. Lord willing, the one come back to me. I know one was tossed to and fro. Right? Dang, what was the other one? I know how I can find it. Right, this is Ephesians 4 and verse 14. It says, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro. Right? Because why? Now we have the names. The names of Yahawashi has come back into us. Right? We got that gift of faith, right? To hold on, to stay afloat. Right? Yahawashi is he's gonna deliver us from this place. Right? It says that's why Esau can't trick us with that plantation Christianity. You know, they can't trick us with Islam. They can't trick us with all the things that false prophet they created. Right? They can't trick us with none of that, because we have the names of Yahawashi, which is bringing us that comfort. This is our comfort, right? Which is bringing that comfort, the Rakakodas, the Holy Spirit, which is bringing us to remembrance of who we are. Right? It says, that whence henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine. Right? It says, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness. And when you go to the Genesis chapter 3, what is that? That's that serpent. He was that's what that subtle. What does subtile mean, right? Craft and cunning, right? Whereby they lie and wait to deceive. And we know they're talking about Esau, Edom. They can't trick us no more. They can't get us no more, because they the ones who deceive the whole world. That devil that deceive the whole world. They that serpent. That's that same spirit, that same evil spirit, right? Which is on that melanin man, you know, which just came back to Esau, Edom, right? You know, they crafted cunning, right? Fact. That's the spirit, because the priest almost slipped my mind. Matthew 24 and 24, right? It says, for there shall arise false Christ, right? And false prophets. This is Yahawashi talking, it read, and shall show great signs and wonders, in so much that if it were possible, not they can, if it were possible, they can't, because it ain't possible, right? That they shall deceive the very elect, right? Matter of fact, I got something just came to mind. An old man can pluck. Bear with me, matter of fact. Let me turn this off real quick. Slack, excuse the notification. No man can pluck them out of my hand. What is that? John 10. The body help Yahawashi, right? This is John chapter 10. I started at verse 27, right? It says, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish. Neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Father which gave me them is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. I and my Father is one, right? Meaning, no, these dumb Christians think that precept mean that Yahawashi and Yahawah is the same being. No, it's meaning that whatever the Father do, whatever the Son do, the Father put in motion for it to happen. You know, he do everything that the Father said. Yahawah say plant oranges, Yahawashi plant oranges. Right? It ain't like down here where the Father say plant apples and the Son go plant grape seeds thing. They said no. Whatever the Father say, that's what the Son do. That's why I said I and my Father are one. Because everything that's set by Yahawah shall get it done. Right? But the point is these names holding us down. No man can pluck you out of my hand, and no man can pluck you out of no man can pluck them out of Yahawah. No man can pluck it out of Yahawah's hand. Because why? Right? Because Yahawashi ordained that elect. Yahawashi ordained. That's why Yahawashi, that name, right? That's our anchor. It holds us down, right? It gives us comfort, because we understand that we're going to be delivered from this place. So these other doctrines, these other gimmicks and games, we don't care about none of it. We don't care about the riches. We don't care about the fame. None of it. They can have it all, right? Because that's why we stable. When times like this going on, where Jake in confusion, Jake don't know what to do with himself, right? EB, I just seen a video of a lady. She's telling Esau, sorry, that was the event, but she's telling Esau on the social media that they finna start eating them. Jake losing their wit. Jake losing it, right? They losing their stability. They falling over. They flying around. They will eventually. Guess what? They gonna fall into the MOTB. You know, they just gonna give in to those ways, right? They just gonna give in to those ways, right? Because they gonna get tired of tossed to and fro, right? Here and there. They gonna try to find any way to get comfortable. That's why Micah 2:10 say depart, for this is not your rest. You know, Jake go through so much. Jake, slave, this and that, persecutes this and that. Let's just do it. Let's just do what Esau them saying. Let's just do what they doing. Let's just take the chip, right? But the elect ain't going for that, right? Because this name of Yahawashi holds us down, right? Let me find it. Anchor. What is that? Oh yeah, Hebrews 6:19, right? It says, which hope we have as an anchor of the soul, right? both sure and steadfast, and which enter into that within the veil, right? And I'm reading in the NLT as well. But that Yahawashi, that name is our anchor. It's what's holding us down. It's what's keeping keeping us down, man. As we float, man. It's what's keeping us down. Now we not selling our way over here. Now we not selling our way over there. We in the spot right where Yahawashi outside set us to be, so he can come back and grab us, man. So he can come back and deliver us, right? So let's do this real fast so we don't receive no call. It's Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 19. And I'm turn this off. Right? It says, this is hope. This hope is a strong and trustworthy anchor for our souls, man. You know? Rakathami, how about you outside? It's like I started a lesson, without, giving honor and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, and Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders of great millstone, and shout out to the whole elect starting 144,000, Shalom. And Salakia for me starting a lesson, without even saying that, Salakia, right? But this hope is a strong and trustworthy anchor for our souls, man. This hope, that's why this faith is a gift, because everybody don't have it. Everybody don't have that anchor. We have it. This is holding us down. We ain't confused out here, right? It said it leads us through the curtains into Yahawah's in the sanctuary, man. Down this passage we going on, the spirit of Yahawashi is leading us. It's guiding us, right? What is that? Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. The Lord without understanding, right? Lord will merely paraphrase. He'll direct your paths, right? Proverbs, what is that? Proverbs 16, 9, right? Lord direct our steps, right? Because the spirit of Yahawashi leads us, man. It guides us, right? That's why this is the anchor. It's holding us down. It keeps us covered in his evil kingdom. It keeps us covered in his wicked place, man. Right? I'm reading this again, right? It says, this hope is a strong and trustworthy anchor for our souls. It leads us through the curtains into Yahawah in the sanctuary. Yahawashi has already gone in there for us. He has become our eternal high priest in the order of Melchizedek, right? And we understand that's why Yahawashi laid down for us, right? So now we saved by faith and grace. Now we saved by hope, right? Having that faith in Yahawashi. Without faith, it's impossible. Hebrews chapter 11, right? Without faith, it's impossible, right? That's why we call on these names. So all these people calling on Most High Christ, but all these, hey, they ain't rooted down. That's why they easily out here tricked up. That's why they easily out here confused, man. They ain't rooted down, man. Right? We rooted down. We're no longer tossed to and fro because we got a name back. We got an anchor back, man. We got it back. Now it's here. Now we're not going nowhere, man. You can't trick us no more. You can't deceive us no more. Actually, we're exposing you now. Now we're exposing your ways, right? Let's see. I'm gonna see one more quick precept, a little closing precept. Let me see. Really want to go into John. John 15. Let me see. This is where I wanted to go. Right here, John 15 and verse 26, right? It says, but when the Comforter, the Rakadas, the Holy Spirit, is come, whom I will send unto you from the Father, right? So that spirit First Corinthians chapter 2, verse 10, the Spirit searches all things in the deep things. It brings us to remembrance, right? It's mystery, His word. It's a graphic word for us. It brings the knowledge, understanding back into us, right? It says, even the Spirit of truth, who proceeded from the Father, he shall testify of me. And ye shall also bear witness, because ye have been with me from the beginning. The elect is ordained. Those same ones who ride to the end, right? Their name Yahawashi. Guess what? Those same ones who ride to the end, been with Yahawashi. Guess what? That's the 144,000 who are anchored down, right? Through names of Yahawashi. You can't get them. Say you can't get next to them, man. And they hate that, but they can't get next to them, man. So with that being said, Lord willing, right? I got it in my notes, the title of the lesson. Yahawashi is our anchor, man. So with that being said, Lord willing, right, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shout out to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000. Shalom.